Krypto the Superdog takes flight in the latest DC EU anime adventure, DC League of Super Pets, written and directed by Jared Stern, co-directed by Sam J. Levin, and also written by John Withington, who has a few credits to his name including Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is really good. If you sort of enjoyed Sonic 1, check out Sonic 2. It's a whole lot of fun. I can't wait for Sonic 3. This isn't about the Sonic movies. This is about DC League of Super Pets. Warner Bros. Is bound and determined to take the DC franchises, the properties, all that stuff, and expand on them and do everything they can to get as much money as they possibly can, because the Batman was pretty successful, and Black Adam is currently in theaters as of this recording and is doing pretty goddamn well. And Warner Bros. And 7 Bucks Productions, they teamed up to do this. And 7 Bucks Productions, that name's ringing a bell. I know that there was a guy that told a few stories, over the years. He was in football, he was in college, and he was in the NFL and then the CFL. It didn't work out. He went home. He only had $7 in his pocket, $7 to his name. He was bound, determined to make sure that he was able to help out his family, help out his friends, and he was going to become a megastar. But who could that be? I mean, somebody, I know that they had an eyebrow. They dropped the people's elbow. Now they're the biggest star in Hollywood. It's Rock the Dwayne Johnson. It's Rock the Dwayne Johnson. It's his company. And because his company's involved, no, this isn't Tales from the Territories, no roundtable discussion. This is an animated adventure where Rock the Dwayne Johnson plays Krypto, who's from the planet Krypton. But you wouldn't know that because they dropped the N from the end. They dropped the end of it. But yes, he's Krypto the Superdog. He's Superman's best friend. You're my best friend. Let me tell you about my best friend. But yeah, him and Superman were bonded because when Krypton was exploding, Superman was sent away. Krypto jumped in, and the mother said, no, our child will need a friend. And so they've grown up together. They fight crime. They play in the park. They go walkies in the sky and everything's great. But also Superman wants to marry Lois. And Krypto's a little bit worried that he might be replaced. He might not be considered his best friend. And through a series of unfortunate events, it turns out that Lex Luthor and minions are involved in a plot to take over the world. Gee, Lex Luthor trying to take over the world. How fucking original. Good job, you bald-headed bay. Wait a minute. But anyway, basically Krypto finds out that, about the power of friendship and also teaming up with other pets that also have superpowers to rescue Superman and the rest of the Justice League. And the adventure begins pop up and away. Okay, so this movie's been out for a while. It came out in theaters about just over 3 months ago. I didn't check it out in theaters because I simply didn't want to. It's been on HBO Max for a while. And I meant to check it out, but I've been busy with work and also watching horror movies because October just ended. So I decided I'm going to check this out. I will say this. It's not bad. It's just not great. That's really the best way I can summarize it right there. This is certainly better than The Bad Guys. I will say that much. There are similarities between this and The Bad Guys that'll be talked about in the spoiler section. But this movie might entertain some kids, and it's not awful, but this is one of those hits with Rock the Dwayne Johnson that, I don't know, he's good in some stuff. I mean, he basically is just playing himself in a lot of movies, whether voiceover or live action. But this seems to be almost one of the most subdued. There's a few, attempts to tug at the heartstrings, just pull it up and tug at the heartstrings because of the whole pet thing. And if you're a pet person, like I am, then some of that stuff may get to you. But one criticism I have immediately is the animation style, and it's not even that it looks cheap. I just don't like how the characters look. I don't think it's a good style. I don't think it's a good fit. And the story is very, very generic. The fact that a couple people were used to write this, don't get me wrong, at least they didn't have 4 or 5 people involved in writing this, because God forbid, that would have been absolutely insane. But the rest of the cast. Kevin Hart. Anytime Kevin Hart's in a movie, I immediately cringe, because Kevin Hart is very one note in his comedy, and I should use that in the largest quotations possible. I don't find Kevin Hart all that funny. He's not awful, he's just not great. Kate McKinnon plays a guinea pig, or a hen. Well, she plays a little, furry, bald creature that is trying to plot to do something. Same thing we do every night, Pinky trying to take over the world. Superman, was voiced by John Krasinski. Yes, the director of A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2. And then also Vanessa Bayer was PB, who's a giant pig. And then there's Merton, voiced by Natasha Lyonne. Why has Natasha Lyonne not been a bigger star? I know she's been in stuff, but I thought she was great in the American Pie movies, and I know that's really dating myself right there. But I always thought I know she's been in stuff. It just feels like she should have been bigger. Mark Maron plays Lex Luthor. And then there are it's actually a pretty solid, cast of people. The thing is that the movie is very, very stretched out, much like The Bad Guys. So this has a little bit more to it. Basically, the idea is a certain thing happens where Krypto loses his powers because of kryptonite, and there's also this other type of kryptonite that can give pets they can give pets powers, but not humans powers. So that's how the League of Super Pets gets formed. And from there, we have an adventure that's okay. There's nothing really great about this. It's all very run of the mill. It's all very middle of the road. It's all right, but it's not necessarily the best. There's a few attempts to have humorous clips and little inside references. And they do use the Justice League characters. Cyborg, yes, Cyborg, believe it or not, is one of them. Green Lantern, Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. That's about it. That's an MST3K reference if nobody gets that. And it's all right, but at the length it really does only go about 95 minutes, and there are a few little teases in the end credits, but it just doesn't end up being all that much that you need to. Kids will enjoy it, and adults, people that like superhero movies, if you're a casual viewer of superhero movies like I am, and you're kind of superheroed out, you might be kind of muted on. I don't hate the movie, I just don't love it. So I'm going to get into spoilers. It's on HBO Max if you want to check it out. So there you go. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so after ingesting a piece of cheese that has kryptonite in it, Krypto lost his powers. Now, how did Krypto lose his powers? It turns out Lulu, voiced by Kate McKinnon, is actually a secret supervillain. It was experimented on in a lab by Lex Luthor and found out about all these particular pieces of rock, like the green rock, the red rock, the purple rock, and then you smell what the rock is cooking. And he even says, oh God, these jabronis, because he has to throw that in. And Rock, of course, I don't know, Rock almost seemed muted here. Kevin Hart was super annoying, as is expected. And everybody else was all right, but it was about everybody, when they discover their powers, the pig can either increase her size or shrink down. And Lulu uses this power to take over, or to try to take over the world. She wants to free Lex Luthor since he's been captured. And she gets an army of guinea pigs, which sounds oddly familiar in comparison to the Bad Guys. Unlike the Bad Guys, this movie isn't nearly as annoying, because the Bad Guys was aggressively annoying. So there's there's a slow turtle voiced by Natasha Lyonne. And Keanu Reeves is even in this. Diego Luna plays a squirrel named Chip. And yeah, Keanu Reeves, believe it or not, being in this was kind of funny. Really, really kind of a loaded cast. Various people in minor roles. And Lulu, after kidnapping Superman and giving him this piece of cheese, now he doesn't have his superpowers. Well, a little bit earlier, while Superman was trying to propose to Lois, he decides, hey, maybe he needs a friend. They go to this particular, this one pet shop, and they decide maybe to get one, maybe get him a friend. Well, Ace, the dog, tries to get away, and Krypto stops him with his powers, but then a little bit later, since he doesn't have his powers, they have to band together. He has to make friends, and they have to rescue the Justice League, who are just made to look like idiots. Lulu has her army of guinea pigs that take over. This isn't really all that great. This is really, really mundane and muted. There's a kitten that Lulu rescues called Whiskers that does have powers a little bit later. Fires missiles out of tail, coughs up hairball grenades because funny. There's also a bit of a bonding thing a little bit earlier with Krypto and Ace, where it turns out Ace tried to rescue a kid, but had to bite the kid's arm to pull the kid back, and because the dog thought it did well, didn't realize it drew blood, was given up by the family. Now, I could understand that if they didn't see it, but maybe if, oh, I don't know, you paid attention to your kids a little bit better, you stupid fucking parents, you would have realized that the dog was trying to save. Maybe you shouldn't be parents. Maybe your child should be ripped from your arms. Now that I'm done being angry about this, let's get back to the movie. They fight that kitten and they lock it under a dumpster, and then the grenade explodes. I still have 8 lives. Well, then Krypto's going to be flattened because he still doesn't have a superpower. Still waiting for that kryptonite to pass. And Lulu gets free, or Lulu's going to free Luthor. But she traps all the super pets in the cells. And then Luthor throws Lulu in the cell. Because he's like, I'm not going to share the credit. I'm going to take my henchman with me. And then this purple-haired henchman that I swear was straight out of Lightyear. And then Krypto suddenly gets his powers back, is able to rescue everybody. He goes at it alone. They come to help him because there is a rocket in this in Luthor Tower that is going to be launched into space, and there's a bomb on it, and it's going to explode because Lulu is pissed about this. Luthor's captured. Everybody's captured. They're going to be sent up, and everybody decides to come help him. The pig expands to launch the, I believe it's a turtle, and the dog up into space while Krypto goes to fight Lulu. Now, one little thing that was just glossed over by me is he refers to this great power called the Solar Paw Punch that kills the person that gets hit, but also kills the person that delivers it. Okay, one punch dog is basically what we're going with. Well then, it seems like everything's fine. Lois is rescued, everybody's rescued, but then, suddenly, Lulu reforms the broken rock and becomes this giant thing. Kneel before Lulu, kneel before Zod. And they have to have this fight, and Krypto realizes, Ace, take care of Superman, fly around into the sun, come back with a solar punch. Ace is also invulnerable, by the way. That was his power. And he manages to save Krypto while destroying Lulu. Then Lulu is dropped in a vat of hot dog water. Trapped for all eternity. Everybody's fine. Everybody has pets. Even Batman has a pet. Because Ace, who feels slighted, is with Batman. Everybody has their pets. Even the ice and fire guinea pigs that actually were things. They were the good guinea pigs. Aquaman's in this as well. But he's so forgotten quickly that's why I didn't bother to mention him. And then we talk in the credits about how everybody's got their powers, and that Lex's right-hand woman rescues Lulu. We're really the brains behind this operation. And also they tease Black Adam and Black Dog Adam, or whatever he's called, possibly facing off in the sequel. Assuming they get a sequel. It's fine. It gets a C. That's all I'm going to say. Agree, disagree what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.